Okay, hello, Megan Taslaman here, the Thyroid Naturopath. This is a fantastic topic that's very, very close to my heart. And what I am going to attempt to do is go through the different areas and the different points so that you can then actually link into that and feel into whether that is true for you. All right. Naturopathic care. So there are so many tools in the toolbox within the naturopathic model to help you rebalance your energy and bring back your balance and your vitality, right? But initially, we need to find out where the energy leaks are. So today's live training is all about finding your energy leaks to combat fatigue. Now, the fatigue may be of a chronic nature, or it could be a day to day, or every other day, or every couple of days. And it's going to be different for different people in terms of the impact on your life, but also where the energy, where your resources are going. Okay, so I call it energy leaks because essentially we have an energy reserve which is replenished. We replenish that throughout the day, every day. It's replenished while we sleep, and we've got an abundance of energy at some point in time, which is then gradually depleted. So it's up to us to really hone in and tune in to what works for our body. And with that knowing, from there, then you'll be able to pick and choose. Okay, now sometimes we don't get to pick and choose. Sometimes we've just got to do, okay, like obligations and all those other types of things, work, for example. So with that, from that point, you can go, well, you know what? I've got to get through here. So this is how I can replenish my body. And then I need a space. So it's also utilizing the spaces in between. Like, for example, do you have a lunch break? So do you have lunch, at your desk? I mean, anybody who has worked with me in the past will know that, I like to encourage you to put a boundary around that so that you're actually able to replenish your energy and recalibrate your nervous system. Okay, so let me get into it. So I've got several points here that I want to go through. And each are going to be, you might just trigger something. You might think, oh, okay, yeah, I think that's me, or I think that's me, or there's a combination, right? So the first one is all about the thyroid. Okay, so one of the signs and symptoms of a sluggish thyroid, poor thyroid, hypothyroidism, and Graves' disease, hyperthyroidism, is fatigue, right? So our thyroid's role is helping us regulate our energy. So do you know whether you have a thyroid condition, or do you have a thyroid condition and do you feel that you could be doing a little bit better to manage it? Yeah, because there are so many things that actually feed in to our thyroid wellness. Everything from our digestive health to our sleep management, to the way we look at exercise, to, all those other elements that are piled up on our life, how we manage stress, all of those things feed into thyroid wellness. So, surface level, you take a supplement. But does that give you longevity for your thyroid wellness? Well, I don't believe so. I mean, a supplement is there to supplement for a finite period of time or for a longer period of time and help you manage. But by digging underneath and really making some fundamental strong changes to the way you do life is actually that's where the gold is. That's actually where you're going to find the longevity. That's where you're going to find the health abundance, all of that. Yeah. So if you've kind of been dabbling around with this, dabbling around with that, you might have done some functional testing, your thyroid's out of whack, and you're still not where you need to be after X amount of years or X amount of months, because there should have been a nudge in the right direction. So if you're still flat out fatigued and dragging your feet every day, I would like you to write thyroid in the comments, because there is, our thyroid is like a calibrator, so we've got our T3, our active metabolic hormone. We've got our T4, which actually feeds into T3, and that also helps us, it gives us some rev as well. Then we've got our reverse T3. Now, reverse T3 isn't bad. It's just basically our body's wisdom saying, you know what, you got to put the brakes on because you're just pushing too hard, and this is just too damn stressful. So our reverse T3 is like a nice little red flag warning that, hey, if you don't change things up right now, things are going to get much worse. So it's actually, I love having a look at my reverse T3, just to see, well, how I manage. But, we don't really need it because we can often figure that out ourselves. Because if you just drill deep and actually look at where your energy is going and look at how you're feeling and what's happening with your digestive system, especially if you're working alongside a naturopath or, someone who's a specialist in that field, well, then you'll be able to get some coaching and some support and guidance around that and get things back on track, right? So that's really the aim. That's that golden opportunity, that space where, we get to choose how we live our life. Yeah. Okay. So next one, adrenal fatigue. So strategies to overcome adrenal fatigue and regain your mental clarity. Okay. So first of all, you need to figure out whether you have an adrenal issue. But, our adrenals, there's been a concept that there's no such thing as adrenal fatigue because they don't just puff out and fizzle out. Whilst that may be true, yes, there is, that concept. It's just easy to understand that it essentially means that you're pushing too hard. You're pushing in your job, you're pushing in your life, you're pushing with managing your family, you're pushing, from a financial point of view, like it's just push and not enough relaxation. So with that, what I encourage you to do, if you'd like to do this exercise, it's just a really easy exercise. And essentially you just take some time out and just sit with yourself and just really drill deep and think, feel into your heart and just think, well, you know what actually depletes my energy reserves? And just write a list. What is it? What depletes my energy reserves? Is it, I don't know, the noisy neighbors? Is it the traffic jam in the morning? Is it that, you're not having nourishing food and you know that you're not really doing the right thing for yourself, but you're actually, you don't have enough time or whatever it is, and just write down all of these things. And then against all of those things, just flip it and go, well, what would actually fill my cup? Yeah, what would fill my cup? And sometimes it's actually about, I just need a holiday. It's actually about removing yourself completely from the situation so you can have a holiday. So getting outside, getting away from whatever it is, because when we take a break, that's when we can look back onto what's been happening with a fresh set of eyes. It's almost like you have a fresh view, and having that break, then you come back and you go, you know what, yeah, I feel that this would be good for me, or I feel that a change is in store. I feel like I need to change my job, or that's when you get the clarity. So if you're really feeling fatigued and you have been for so long, see if you can manage it in a way to, to take a break, even just a 3-day retreat, something for you, something that's going to top up your cup, just to recalibrate. All right. So it's essential on a day-to-day basis to nourish your adrenal glands and to understand what foods fortify you and what really nourishes you. So that's something that it's really bespoke. It's something where I have a look at your individual dietary picture and then marry that with what you're doing in your life. Are you fueling your body for energy? Is your body being too taxed? Are you trying to do exercises and there's not enough protein? That's just a classic basic example. But there are so many ways that you can nourish your adrenals through food and also through doing those lifestyle elements, those beautiful things that help you take a break, right? All right, so essentially, to begin with, you know, is your energy leaking through the area of your adrenals, meaning your stress system? So how are you managing stress? How are you responding to stress? Do you feel like you often find yourself in a flight fight situation where you're trying to run away? You're looking for things to escape. You know, you might be having umpteen dozen cups of coffee and lots of little sugar props throughout the day to keep you going. So that's a sign of adrenal fatigue, because you're trying to use the cortisol prop to keep you going. Okay, so there's some little signs there. All right, so hormonal balance. How hormonal balance is key to sustained energy levels. Do you know what? We can do functional testing to actually see if your hormones are in balance, or you can often just find out what's going on just through some questioning, and we can figure out what's going on for you. You know, what's probably happening right here, and essentially looking at ways to balance your life. Because if you've ever had an erratic, stressful period of time, often your hormones will go out of whack. Everything from your reproductive hormones will go out of whack. So for the ladies, you know, like your menstrual signs and symptoms will be completely off the charts with all of the signs and symptoms. Or you might feel that suddenly you're getting like sudden hunger. So, you know, your hunger and your sugar balancing hormones are all out of whack. So there's those levels of hormones. We've got our thyroid hormones. Essentially, our hormones are chemical messages, and that forms part of our endocrine system, and they are all connected. It's almost like, well, you know, they may be in different systems, but there's connections as well. There's the roads cross. So essentially bringing your life into balance and areas of your life into balance will, by default, bring your hormones into balance. Okay, so if that's something that you're curious about, if you'd like more information on, or if you'd just like to have a chat about that, just write hormonal balance. Yeah, just write hormonal balance, and we'll get in touch with you and have a chat. All right, so the impact of dietary choices on vitality. This is huge. So looking at your dietary picture, is it just shutting up the hunger, or is it fueling your body? So a little bit of a hallmark is, after you've eaten, do you feel like you need to have a nap? Yeah, or do you feel a little bit like, oh, you know, a little bit depleted? So that's a little bit of a hallmark symptom that your food that you're choosing isn't fueling your body. Okay. Another one is your water. Now, what's the quality of water like? Now, I've mentioned this in a couple of lives before. I've recently, or not too recently now, about 8 months ago, maybe 9 months ago, I actually invested in a Kangen water unit. And I have to say, I'm incredibly impressed. And if you've got a thyroid issue and you're just having your regular tap water, actually, you know what? Even if you don't have any issue, if you completely have top-notch health, well, that's awesome. That's amazing. But I feel that it's my duty of care to say that in this day and age, if you're just having your regular tap water, you're really doing yourself a disservice in terms of the longevity of your health and wellness. Yeah, because there's too many heavy metals, and you can do water testing. Actually, Great Plains Laboratory, you can send a sample of water and have it tested to see what's in it. You know, there's pesticide particles, you know, glyphosate, heavy metals. We've got the chlorine and the fluoride that's actually put in there. The Kangen doesn't take out all of the fluoride. It will take out some of it. Fluoride's a very, very small molecule. I would argue that I don't think there would be any water system that would entirely take that out. Yeah, if that's something that you're looking at. Okay, so what else can I say about that? Yeah, and it's potentized, right? So it actually gives you more hydrogen atoms. So it's potentized so that they diffuse through and help to hydrate your body more efficiently and more effectively to give you more energy. Yeah, so it's the oxygen. See, we obtain oxygen. We breathe, obviously, the air, but we obtain oxygen through the foods we eat, through incredible water that we drink. You know, that's how other ways that we oxygenate our body and oxygenate our cells. So if you've got potentized water that actually brings more oxygen into your system, well, it's just going to give you a kickstart. And I've already noticed the difference with my triathlon training. Now, I feel like I'm hydrating really well. I'm not needing the electrolytes and I'm not needing the magnesium sachets that I used to use. I'm still having magnesium, obviously, because I feel that that's really important for, you know, all the energy systems and so many other systems in the body, and it's good for my muscles and bones and all of that. So, you know, rather than taxing my body, I am taking magnesium, especially when I'm training. However, I'm noticing I'm not relying on it because my body's just naturally hydrating so much more efficiently and effectively since having the Kangen water unit. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, just write Kangen, Kangen. I am a distributor, so I can tell you all about it and you know, funnel you to the resources or provide you with some resources if you'd like more information on that. All right, next one. Stress management. Okay, this is a huge one. So stress response management. So we've all got the external stuff, right? It's just like, this is part of life, you know, we've got the stuff that goes on, but how are you responding to it is the key to living a stress-free, balanced life that actually honors your thyroid, honors your hormones, honors your adrenals, you know, honors your body and everything. Yeah. How are you responding? Now, sometimes if it's, you can't help a response, but other times it's just a habit. You know, you've always flown off the handle at X, Y, and Z. And then because you've always done that, your body just defaults to that. So then you just do that again. And then that's your stress response. And it doesn't need to be like that. So this is actually really, really, can be really, really difficult to change because what you really want to do is enter into the realm of self-inquiry and really look at what's going on. And I find that a really great space to do that is at a retreat. Yeah, like we had one in June. We've got another one coming up next year. If you'd like to find out more information about that, I have not set the dates yet, but I'm just kind of getting some expression of interest. So write retreat, and I will just kind of like, you know, flag you to tell you what we're looking at doing. But essentially, where a retreat is really great is it allows the space and opportunity for you to really get away from the noise, from the white noise of your life, where you can actually dig deep and enter into that beautiful world of self-inquiry. So often we look at all these external factors that pull us from pillar to post. This is about going intercellular. So going inward to really find out more about you, about how your body operates, how you respond, how you could better respond, and really understanding and improving that intimate relationship with yourself, even on a cellular level and on an energetic level. Yeah. And if that's something that sparks your curiosity, just write retreat and I will let you know. Look, it might be a couple of days, it might be 3 days. We haven't decided yet. It's just something that I'm just kind of like allowing the process for me to really get the very best offering that is going to be of benefit to as many people as possible. Okay. So, yeah, stress management, you know, it's about bringing it back to basics. So if you find that you're in a stressed situation and you'd like to change that, you'd like to change that response, the most simplest thing that you can do is bring your attention to your breath. Bring your attention to your breath. Get out of your mind. get out of that self-written story. Yeah, you're the director of your own stories that go on in your mind, your perceptions. You know, I mean, your perception of something, maybe if someone else may have a completely different perception, and then someone else might have another completely different perception. And, you know, it's all about perception. So, I mean, what actually is real? We create our reality. What's real? It's really interesting. It's a really interesting question. So, you know, just bringing it back to breath, and the most simplest form, the easiest form is to get out of the situation. If you've got the means to do so, lay on your back to the ground, nervous system, spine, on the earth. If you've got the grass outside, go out in the grass, you know, just get out on the ground, right? Feet up. So already you're in that submissive, you know, receptive position. Arms out, palms up, and just kind of breathe. Just focus on your breath. It's that easy. You know what? As human beings, we complicate life. We create so much drama and create complications, and oh, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. Actually, you know what? You've got the choice. You've got the choice. Yeah? So apart from the fundamental basic needs that create the safety in your life, you know, like the shelter and food and all those basic parameters, like Maslow's theory, Maslow's hierarchy. Google Maslow's hierarchy and you'll know what I'm talking about. MASLOWS, right? When you've got that sorted, everything else is just, it's choice. It's your choice. Yeah? So bring it back to breath. Just breathe. Just count 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, you know, and I guarantee that your brain is going to signal that there's relaxation. It's going to start to secrete the hormones that actually help govern relaxation. You're going to go into parasympathetic nervous system mode, and you're going to calm down. Your heart rate is going to decrease. Everything is going to come back into balance. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes we need to just bring it back to basics until we get the tools of what to do for ourselves. Yeah. Because the tools, the abundance of tools, there are so many. You know, like when I work with people, I don't say, oh, you've got to meditate, because meditation's not for everybody. No, I don't meditate every day. You know, like if I said to myself, I've got to meditate every day, that would then become a job, and it would then become a chore, and stress would be applied to that. So it's got to be something that brings you joy. That, you know, there's so much more than one way. You know, we have a plethora of different ways to help us in this beautiful physical form of ours. You know, there's abundance of ways to do life. Yeah. And it might be that you need to get bold and actually change things up a bit. Shake it up, you know, shake up your life and actually, you know, make some bold decisions. Live on the edge. As long as you got your safety and your shelter, you know, like if you're in a job that's completely depleting your energy and actually stressing you out, you know, have a look at that. Have a look at that. One door closes, another one opens. One door closes, another one opens. You know, when I sold my business in Sydney and completely just went, okay, we're uprooting here and we're going somewhere else, we had no idea what to expect. You know, but I'm so glad I made that decision, because my life is completely different now. I designed my life to support my thyroid wellness. That's actually what I did. If you'd like to find out more about my own individual picture and how that can potentially help you, just write life by design just write life by design, because I flip things to support my thyroid wellness, and which trickles onto everything else in my life. Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Exercise, understanding and listening to your body. You know, as humans, we need to move. Exercise needs to happen every day. But if you're not feeling completely energetic, it might be that you need to look at sleep and look at replenishing your body reserves and look at lots of other things. Yeah. So if your exercise can actually fuel and oxygenate your body to provide a lot more energy. But if you're completely depleted, you might need to choose a different form of exercise or a different form of movement. It might be a beautiful yoga nidra. It might be just some stretching out in the garden, or it might be just, I don't know, 5 push-ups, whatever it is, yeah? But choosing your exercise to suit your energy at the time is what I highly recommend that you do. And that's just really connecting to your heart and connecting to your intuition and connecting to what's in your body. This is one reason why I'm not a big fan of regimented schedules. I feel like it's really great to have a schedule as a framework, as a loose framework, because you don't want it to be too loose that, you don't do it at all, because that then is just becoming a bad habit. However, if you've got a loose framework and if you think, you know what, if you're not quite feeling it today, I'm going to do this instead, or, you're still doing your exercise, you're just honoring your body where it's at the time. Okay. So if you need some motivation around exercise and understanding about how we can draw that into your world to help calibrate your nervous system and help, your health and wellness and your thyroid wellness, just write exercise. All right, so the next one is sleep. Okay, just need to have my cup of relaxation tea. It could be coffee on another occasion, but at the moment it's my relaxation tea. All right, boundaries around your sleep. So here's the thing with sleep. Sleep, I'm very, very passionate about helping people with their sleep. So here's the thing. We can do all the testing under the sun, but essentially we look at the low-hanging fruit. What's going on? How are you actually facilitating good quality sleep at night? Yeah, there are so many lifestyle and environmental factors to consider before we go into functional testing. In fact, a brand new client that's I've only been working with her for a few weeks now. We did exactly that. We just looked at all these sabotaging factors that are all lifestyle, environmental, and we just looked at that and flipped all of that. And this particular client is extremely proactive and essentially reported back to me, hey, it's only been 4 days and I've just had 8.5 hours sleep. And then the next time I've just had 8 hours sleep, So already formulating a brand new pattern of 4, 5, 6 hours sleep to 8.5 hours sleep just from doing these things. Yeah, we haven't done testing yet. We may not even need to do the testing in that area, right? So that's just really, really interesting. So have a look. If you're not getting good quality sleep, that's a major energy leak, huge. That's where our cells recover. That's where our body secretes the growth hormone. That's where our body repairs. That's how we lower our inflammation. So really, really important. Okay, I'm going over time. All right, let me just get to this one. Digestive health. Most lives I talk about digestive health. Have a look at your plate. I mentioned this before. Is the food that you're consuming fueling your body and supporting your energy reserves, or is it actually causing more inflammation and detracting from your wellness or causing an energy leak, right? So that's one to look at. Or if you have a digestive issue, that's definitely an energy leak. Like if you've got poor bowel movements or IBS type situation that's never been resolved, that is a huge energy leak, because that means that you're malnourished. You're not actually absorbing and utilizing the vitamins and minerals from your food. So that's really, really important. And functional testing is something that I definitely recommend for that. Okay. And the last one, the power of intuition. and leading a balanced life. So this is a big one, and often it's overlooked, because often we buy into the story that we have told ourselves or invented for ourselves and created, and we lose connection to our heart. Our heart is actually the brain's brain. The heart is the real brain, because it's our inner knowing, it's our intuition, it's where we know, it's our sixth sense, it's our understanding. So if we tap into our heart's intelligence, everything else tends to sort itself out, because often the brain will circuit break and actually override the heart and go, you know what? No, I've got to do this. But if you listen to your heart and listen to your body and think, well, you know what? I don't really need to do that. And right now, what I need is an Epsom salt bath with a few drops of ylang ylang. Go do that. Go do that. Is the world going to end if you go and do that? No, but it's going to top your cup up. Now, that was just an example, but there are so many examples. There's an amazing array of examples of how to bring your awareness back into your body and really tap into your intuition so that you live your life through your intuition, through your inner connection, as opposed to the external processes. What I mean by that is the timetable, this, that, and the other, and all of those things. We can modify as much as possible so that we've got intuitive time. Yeah, like if you've got things that if you're in a 9-to-5 job, it's more difficult, but you can still find those beautiful little spaces throughout the day where you can connect in and replenish your energy reserves, and even get glimpses of how you can put strong boundaries around areas of your life that are actually depleting you. Yeah. And it might be people, it might be things, it might be situations, and having concrete boundaries around certain areas of your life that know that fills your cup is so crucial. I had a client in the past that actually nothing got through her Pilates. She did her Pilates twice a week. She traveled for it, and nothing got through that. No appointment, no session, nothing. Because this client knew that actually, it's not just about the core strength, that it just gives her so much. It was fueling the wellness in her body, that she knew that nothing touches my Pilates, So find out what it is for you, and work intuitively. All right, that's it from me. Reach out if you would like to have a chat, and I look forward to seeing you for the next live training. Let me know if you've enjoyed this. I'd love some feedback. All right, bye for now.